ACC championships. Jerry Milani, Ben Donalo with you. JR, tell me about these teams. What have you seen in kind of what you've been looking at? I know you've seen both of these teams a few times.
Well, I'm so impressed with the Griffins of Chestnut Hill and the resurgence that they've made. Coach Jim Connolly, who was named CACC Coach of the Year this week, has done a masterful job with this team. And it's a senior veteran type of team, and they've got better, just gotten better as the season has gone on. But Michael's points are right on the money. Very well coached, very well schooled. They run great sets. They share the basketball. They get great balance. It's not like you have to say, well, I'm going to stop Bree Hewlett, or I'm going to stop Lauren Krim, or I'm going to. You got to stop all of these kids. And Emily Schmiel coming off the bench is a great player. Tough team to deal with. Now, Jefferson, fun team, has really played better down the stretch, led by a really talented point guard in Morgan Robinson, Haley Meinel, Cassie Murphy. You know, we did the game at Felician the other night, and Sam Yencha had a terrific game. So again, same principle, a lot of depth, a lot of balance. Coaching, Tom Shirley, look for something today that he's going to do maybe a little bit differently. You know, against Felician, they played the 2-3 zone and they trapped out of it. I think today he might try to isolate some players, try to go at the big girls of Chestnut Hill, get them in foul trouble and out of the game. Great matchup.
You don't win 819 games in your coaching career without knowing how to make adjustments and do things on the fly. And look, these teams have already played twice, and they're in the same city. And they, have to come up the turnpike here and
Chestnut Hill
95 and get a game in here today. And they're gonna go at it with everything they got. It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick pause now for the national anthem. Be right back with you. You're watching the CACC basketball on the CACC network, powered by BTV.
This woman, let me battle the woman. This woman going. Relax, stop, please. That's done. White.
All right, the Rams and the Griffins, they played, as we mentioned, 2 games earlier this year. Chestnut Hill won both of those, and they've won 3 of the last 4. But dating back to history, this Jefferson program just has a lot more. Stature is the word. They've had much more success. But Chestnut Hill, you said, Coach Connolly has done this, and he built it from the ground up. And these are seniors and juniors and grad students and all that have been through the 8-win teams, and now they're on the 24-win
for
team.
Jefferson, a 5'10" sophomore from Morganton, Pennsylvania. Number 24, Haley Meinel, for what they've done and what they've built. At forward for Chestnut Hill, a 5'10" senior from North Wales, Pennsylvania. Where number 55, Bree Hewlett, and tomorrow afternoon. At guard for Jefferson, they could be the number 1 seed in the East region. Number 2, for the NCAA tournament. And I mean, what an achievement that would be. At guard for Chestnut Hill,
number 2 coming in this week, but Southern New Hampshire was number 1 and lost the quarterfinals of the NE10. And
at guard for Jefferson, a 5'8" sophomore from
another win against Jefferson, and the scientists are close to a good win. That's going to be a good resume.
At guard for Chestnut
starting
Hill,
lineup being introduced on the floor right now, and we'll do the same for you back wherever you're tuned into CACC tournament basketball. We appreciate you being with us here on the CACC network, powered by BTV today. For Thomas Jefferson,
And
they
a
are the
guard for
number 3
Chestnut
seed in
Hill,
the
a
South. They go with the sophomore from Swedesboro, New Jersey, number 2, Morgan Robinson. Sophomore from Yardley, Pennsylvania, number 3, Emily Kefis.
Tom Shirley.
Freshman from Wilkes-Barre,
Chestnut Hill,
Pennsylvania,
Jim
21,
Connolly.
Sam Yencha. Sophomore from Warrington, PA, 24 is Haley Meinel. And 34 is the freshman from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That's Cassie Murphy. And we just went through sophomore, freshman. And now we're going to go to the Chestnut Hill side, as you alluded to before. So you got Abby Spratt, the senior from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. You got Cassie Siebold, the senior, number 22 from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. Lauren Krim, the junior, number 23 from Warrington, Pennsylvania. Lindsay Lane, the junior, 42 from Havertown, Pennsylvania. And Bree Hewlett, the senior from North Wales, Pennsylvania, number 55. So we think of this Jefferson team, we think, well, it must be deep, they must be talented, and we know all that. And you know what? They must be a veteran team. And it's sophomore, freshman. And remember, these squads didn't play last year. So it's the first real basketball for a lot of these gals. And man, if they come together quick, and you said it, they're playing their best ball down the stretch.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with both of these teams at the high level of play that they've had all year. But you're right, really hitting a stride. Once the calendar turned to February, it gets so much more meaningful and important. And neither team has missed a beat.
Every time you think, oh, Chestnut Hill, they're not going to be number one, something's going to happen, they're going to lose, they go down to Sciences and win at Sciences and claim the number one. Here's a lineup, a lob inside to Murphy. She gets a follow, won't go. A good first defensive position there for the Griffins. They allow the extra attempt, but they're able to come away with it.
1-3-1 defensively for the Rams to start the game.
Here's Spratt, now along to Siebold. Siebold, a 1,500-point scorer in her career. A little jumper there by Hewlett is short. The rebound pulled away by Kefis.
It'll be interesting. The Griffins run great stuff in the half court. Seeing zone. How patient are they going to be? Are they going to move the basketball to get really good looks?
Here's Meinel. Meinel will stop and pop. Won't go. Spins all the way around and out. Rebound pulled down by Lane.
And there was that first isolation type play that the Rams run. 1-4 kind of on the baseline to allow Meinel to go one-on-one.
Siebold again.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
fake by Krim. Now gets a three-pointer right angle. No good by Hewlett.
Two really good defensive trips for the Rams, forced not difficult shots, but not shots I think that the Griffins are accustomed to getting.
Yencha, who had that great quarterfinal game, has it now. Tries to make a move, a little up and under. Well defended by Bree Hewlett.
Two isolation plays to start the game. Sam Yencha that time going against Bree Hewlett.
And then later with the second.
There's Lane in the lane. Lane will spin move. Spratt gets it back outside. Hewlett for another three. This time she hits it. So Bree Hewlett, the senior from North Wales, Pennsylvania, we think of her as an inside player, but not afraid to shoot that three.
Well, she's taken all three shots for the Griffins. That one was a little bit more in rhythm and knocked it down.
Kefis now. Yencha, jumper, doesn't get the roll. Hewlett the rebound. Here's Cassie Siebold. Spratt. Siebold. Back to Abby. She thought about the three. Siebold instead will shoot it.
That's right.
Rattles out. Lane, though, tracks down the offensive board. Here's Lindsay Lane. Siebold, corner three. Rebound pulled down by Kefis.
The Rams are doing a nice job. There's absolutely no way they're allowing the ball to go inside.
Jefferson doesn't shoot the three that often, but when they do, they go to Emily Kefis. She buries it. The sophomore from Yardley has 42 to lead the team, and we're tied at 3.
Griffins had no trouble with the three-quarter court trap that the Rams employ. Handled it very easily.
Here's Hewlett. Almost walked. Gets it back. Tries a three open. Short. Murphy the rebound. Crowd wanted to travel.
They may be right.
Robinson with it. Talked about her in the game we did last week. JR, sophomore from Swedesboro, really makes this team go. Among the leaders in the country in assists. Wasn't good enough to get her on the all-conference team, however, and she lays it up and in.
Right on cue, partner. Morgan Robinson. I mean, it's a great matchup today. Her and Cassie Siebold, two of the best point guards in the CACC.
Yeah, I love watching both of them play. Here's Siebold. Krim with that big game on Tuesday to stave off Caldwell. Siebold again for three. First three tries for Cassie off the mark, and it's 5-3 Rams. Another three. This time the right angle by Kephis. She's hit her first two tries, and it's an 8-3 early Rams lead.
Well, she's such a streaky shooter, and you could see she was feeling it in both three-point attempts. The Rams getting everything they want from their defense, not allowing the ball to get into the paint, and you see a steal by Meinl.
And a travel is the call. She didn't think so, but in transition there, just sometimes when you think you got possession and you're going and someone just gets their hand on it, that's enough to disrupt your flow and you lose track of your feet and it's a travel.
I think she did walk, but I also think that she got bumped a little bit on the way to the basket as we see Emily Schmiel come into the game for the first time.
Yeah, Schmiel and Murphy's going to be a nice battle inside. I think we're going to see a lot of Schmiel today. I know she comes off the bench, but she plays a good 27 minutes a game anyway. Here's a little jumper by Krim, no good. Defensive rebound by Yencha.
Well, it's just another player in Schmiel who can get the ball in close to the basket and finish.
Great look by Robinson, gets it inside. Murphy can't finish with the left hand. It'll stay here, and we'll go to a media timeout. 8-3 Rams, 4:51 to play in the first.
And that's it because they play.
Good start.
Yeah, these are good teams.
4-10 at quarters. And the men's playing 40-minute periods, 40-minute halves. So it works out good. Still works out the same way. But
so that CACC promo we just ran there will have a little bit different look next year. We'll still have that 13. They'll have to change the graphic a little bit. We'll talk about this more in our next game with U Sciences and being the final season for U Sciences as a school, as an athletic program. But here, Jefferson and Chestnut Hill, two schools from Philly who have played some great games this year and great games over time. Just to give a sense of how dominant Chestnut and U Sciences and Jefferson were. So the three together, they were combined 38-4 against everyone else in the league, not counting the games against each other. So, in addition to them having gaudy records overall and in the CACC, they've feasted on those other teams. But the battles between those three have been great, and we get three of the four here in the semifinals. All right. 4:51 to play. First quarter. 8-3 is the early Rams lead. Yencha gets it in, but knocked away with the foot of Hewlett. And they'll go again here, and they'll get Sam Yencha a crank under, or check that. They'll get Haley Meinl a crank underneath. A nice pass inside to Yencha. It's a great look by Meinl.
And it's a nice set. Good off-the-ball screen to bring Yencha to the ball. Wide open. It's a terrific start for the Rams. This is everything that Tom Shirley could have wanted. And another turnover by the Griffins.
Yeah, Siebold, who so composed. There's never any hair on fire. There's some players who are great players, and Brianna Lee, she plays with her hair on fire. That's what makes her a great player. Cassie Siebold is the opposite temperament, but still obviously a great player.
You make a great point, and that's what keeps the entire team very composed. And I don't see any panic in the Griffins with this 10-3 hole that they're in.
Robinson inside, can't finish. Hewlett the rebound. Here's Siebold quickly the other way to Krim. Krim drives. A little baseline J is good. So she gets her first bucket of the game, the junior biology major out of Warrington.
And we were just talking about Seabold. So smart. Got that inbounds or the outlet. One big dribble up the floor. Krim, good head and shoulders fake for the bucket.
Basketball family. Her mom, Susan, played at Villanova. That's a pretty high level in the mid-90s. And the layup no good, but a foul as Keefus this time after the 2 threes decides to take one to the rim and gets rewarded.
And it's a good point. Keefus knocking down some perimeter jump shots. Now, if you're going to guard me, I'm going to head and shoulders fake and I can get to the basket as well.
Keefus a 80+% free throw shooter. Not a high volume on the free throws this year, just 12 of 15 now on the season, but here misses both, but Yencha gets the offensive rebound and puts it back. Yencha has come to play in the postseason.
Yeah, great game Tuesday against Felician, and a quick 4 points in the first 6 minutes here.
12 is the Rams lead. Little jumper at the free throw line by Schmiel, and the rookie of the year and second team All-CACC performer gets on the board.
Nice job by Morgan Sterner to find her good head and shoulders fake, bounce pass to the free throw line, and that's a spot on the floor that they have to look to attack against that zone defense.
There's Keefus again. Keefus a lot more active today, all over the offense than we normally see her. She has 8.
And with 2 missed free throws.
Hewlett drives, swatted away by Yencha. Here's Morgan Robinson. Robinson resets here, under 3 minutes to play first quarter, 14-7. Rams doubling up on the Griffins early on. Here's Keefus. Keefus drives again, this time on Krim. Krim does a nice job to cut that off. It'll stay with the Rams with 10 to shoot.
That was really good team defense. You see it right here. Hewlett, it was a lot of contact too, though. But Krim and Hewlett did a good job of kind of sandwiching Keefus, not letting her get to the basket.
Murphy reverses.
Sweet move by the freshman Cassie Murphy.
Seabold to Hewlett. Seabold again. Corner to Sterner now back around. Sterner in there, number 5. Morgan Sterner, the freshman. And that pass out of bounds. And a turnover back to the Rams. So that time the Rams defense kind of rattling.
Well, at the top of that zone, you have a girl, Haley Meinl, she's so long. And then, in the middle of that zone, you have Cassie Murphy. There's so much, arms, really discouraging passes.
Robinson, left hand, now flips it out to Murphy. Here's Cassie. Takes the jumper from 18. Yes. Cassie Murphy inside, outside, and it's 18-7.
Things are just really going so right for the Rams here in this first quarter offensively.
3 is good by Sterner, so a stanch the bleeding 3 there by Morgan Sterner, the freshman from Northampton.
I think that's a great point.
But Murphy answers directly on the other end with one of her patented little turnarounds there in the lane.
Nice little up and under move by Cassie Murphy. That still was a big 3, though, from Morgan Sterner. Kind of stopped the bleeding.
Fighting through. Another 3 by Sterner. This one's off. Murphy clears. A minute to play now. Coming up on a minute to play here in the first quarter. And the rebound pulled down by Hewlett off the Meinl miss. Here's Krim. They close on her quickly. Robinson does a good job on the travel. Krim wanted to catch that and shoot it, but Robinson was in the way.
Yeah, and I think she jump stopped. We're going to see it right here. She jump stops. And maybe with that second step might have been where the walk was.
Yeah, I think she was okay until she moved that left leg.
Yeah.
I saw on the replay there. Great replay by our truck. Chance here for a 2 for 1 if Robinson decides to go that way. Here at the end of the first quarter. Here's Robinson. Yencha. Now to Keefus. Tipped away inside and kept alive. Here's Keefus. 7 to shoot. Keefus drives in and can't stop her momentum. It's an offensive foul.
That's
Great
really
job by Cassie.
Yeah, really good defense. You see Seabold come over, definitely was set. Great job on taking that charge. But you see, once Keith has put the ball on the floor, what a good team defensive composition by the Griffins. Everybody was coming to the ball. Seabold in position above the restricted area to take the charge.
Shot clock is off, 16 to play here in the first quarter. Seabold with Robinson all over her. Seabold, little flip down. Hewlett inside, left hand won't go. Follow is good by Schmiel. And a turnover, chance for a last second shot, and almost a big turnaround right there, but that bucket makes it 20-12, gets it back into single figures as we go through the end of the first quarter. Andrew Byrne, the next member of our staff, is here down on the sidelines, and he has something for us. Andrew?
Thank you so much, Jerry. Just heard Coach Connolly imploring in the huddle during that first quarter. He wants his team to attack the basket. The three-point shot is going to be there for Chestnut Hill if they want it, but they need to attack the basket. We just saw it moments ago with a putback attempt, but this Chestnut Hill team finding themselves down by 8. Jefferson's flipped the script on them. During the regular season, Chestnut Hill scored 24 points in the first quarter and 25 points. They've been held to just 12. Good defense from Jefferson thus far. We'll see what the second quarter has in store. But as you guys mentioned on the broadcast, Coach Shirley has to be thrilled with the start from the Rams. Back to you guys.
You come into a game where you've given up 24 and 25 in the first quarter, you want to limit the team. Defensively, you want to keep them in the teens, and they've done even better than that at 12.
Well, I mean, as we're looking at the putback by Emily Schmiel at the end of the first quarter, the 1-3-1 zone, it's by design. It's to eliminate and not allow dribble penetration, specifically into the lane, and it's susceptible, on the elbows, the corners. That's really where the vulnerabilities of the zone are. And Coach Connolly is right. They need to attack the basket. They need to attack the Ram defense. It's not easy though with Meinl and Murphy. And you see them out of the quarter, they're playing man to man.
Yeah, and see what they do here on offense. See if they get Krim or get Sterner or somebody to loosen it up with the threes. There's a layup attempt underneath by Hewlett, goes awry. Well defended again. Here's Robinson.
I'm sorry, Jerry. You got to love Coach Shirley coming out of the break with a different defense as Sam Yensha with another jump shot.
Different defense, same Sam Yensha. She has 6. It's 22-12.
And they're staying in man-to-man. Martha Apple guarding Emily Schmiel.
A deep team can go to a bunch of players and not lose a lot. Sterner, high off glass, can't get the roll. Yensha the rebound. Tough luck there for the Griffins. 3-point in rhythm. Boom. Emily Keefus with 11 3 threes, and it's 25-12. Biggest lead of the game for Jefferson.
Just aggressive play by the Rams. And as you said, in rhythm was that 3-ball.
Krim high off glass, doesn't get the roll. A couple of unlucky rims on this end here for Chestnut Hill. Yensha, rebound to Sterner.
Boy, that looked good coming out of her hand.
Here's Sterner. A good take, and doesn't get the basket again. A couple of opportunities really close in here for the Griffins. If 2 or 3 of them go in, got a different game, but it's a 13-point deficit right now. The Rams just playing tough.
Quick shots. No one underneath the basket for offensive rebounds. And now we see zone by Chestnut Hill.
Keefus again. Keefus again. The hot hand. You said it before, JR. When she's hot, you run her, and there it is.
Boy, in rhythm, one of the best 3-point shooters in the conference, and she certainly is demonstrating that today.
41% for the season. And a Hewlett with a big bucket there to, again, just kind of keep things keep it close. It's still 28-14, but just keep them in touch.
Well, and just to get some confidence for Chestnut Hill, they haven't been in this situation all year with this kind of a deficit.
Robinson Double screen, doesn't really need it. Yencha. 3 from Meinl, rolls out. Schmiel, one-handed board. Here's Cassie Siebold the other way. Siebold all the way in. Apple the rebound. That might have been forced.
Yeah, I agree. And she's trying to make a play for her team. But again, nobody in a position to get an offensive rebound.
Jumper by Yencha, no good. Hewlett the rebound. Check that. Schmiel the rebound.
I haven't liked Jefferson's last 2 possessions as well. Not a lot of ball movement and not a lot of player movement. Both these teams looking a little gassed. You know, the adrenaline flowing, and then you play hard for 12, 13 minutes. Both are looking a little tired.
5 on the shot clock. Siebold tries to beat it. Just ticks the rim. Gets the reset. Schmiel's follow no good, though. Keep us the rebound.
Yeah, Schmiel just, had a good look at it. Just a really bad shot.
Feels a little off to me right now watching this team. Both of these teams played on this floor. Jefferson played a non-conference game against Caldwell this year, and Chestnut Hill played a regular season game here. Both got wins. There's a jumper in the lane, no good, by Robinson. And tracked down in the corner there by the baseline by Siebold.
Well, let's see now against man-to-man if the Griffins can run their stuff and get some good opportunities. And that was a good look inside. Bree Hewlett, good look by Cassie Siebold. Jefferson's been stuck on 28 a little bit, and Coach Shirley going to call a timeout.
I think part of it, too, as you said, the team's a little gassed, and it's a chance to get his team a rest. And this lead now at 12, and you can look up and say, okay, I took this timeout. We're still up 12. So let's keep going.
And I think it's recognition by Coach Shirley to understand that, the last couple of possessions, we haven't moved well. Maybe we are showing a little fatigue. Let's take a break and let's get back to doing what we need to do, what we've talked about doing. Try to attack off the bounce to make players better, number 1, and 2, to isolate players and try to get them in situations where they can go one-on-one against their defensive counterparts. Now, for Chestnut Hill, I think actually Jefferson going back to man helps the Griffins. I think they're more comfortable in their offensive framework to see player-to-player defense as opposed to zone. It actually might work in their favor. Don't be surprised coming out of this timeout if Jefferson goes back to the 1-3-1 with their first defensive possession.
And sometimes when the first 8 to 10 minutes of the game comes so easy, every shot's going in, everything you're doing is working. It's a mental thing. It's not on purpose, but you get a little naturally as a human being. You get a little bit complacent. You're a little. This is going to work. We saw it in the second men's game where Felician got that big, huge lead to start off with. They staved off every opportunity, but you knew Post was going to come back in. At some point, you're going to start missing a couple of those shots, and then it's how you react to that. Now, is Chestnut Hill making this run that made them the number 1 team in the South? Is this the point where they can make this run and get it in singles before we go to halftime? Allie Warren in there for the first time, number 23. She dishes it to Meinl. First bucket of the game for the sophomore from Warrington. Second team All-CACC and Defensive Player of the Year.
But you saw in that, and here we are, 1-3-1 again by the Rams. You saw good player movement to get Meinl the basketball in rhythm to knock down the wide-open shot.
Siebold and Sterner playing catch. Now entry inside to Schmiel. Barrels her way in, fights for the offensive rebound, but Warren comes out of there with it. Senior from East Brunswick coming right at us. And fortunately, Maeve McCann was able to
Thank you, Maeve McCann.
to pull up a little bit, and also the bench just had just enough give so that she's not hurt. That's more important. Well important for you. But
yes.
I don't want Maeve McCann getting hurt.
You make me sound
Nobody does.
You're making me sound like an ogre there.
I don't care if you get hurt compared to Maeve McCann. Here's the jumper, or any player on the floor. They can play the game without us.
It's true.
That one goes back to Jefferson. Tipped out of bounds.
Well, you see, a nice job by Caitlin Carter, her first time into the game, trying to get the defensive rebound. Ball went off of her leg, I believe.
McCann will get to the line. That's just a good move and a little bit of dipsy-do there. And, we talked about McCann when we did the game earlier this week, as she was a starter for 25 games, and now she's coming off the bench. But, whatever it takes to win.
Well, and it's so, it's a great thing for Jefferson to have a player like Maeve McCann to come into the game to spell Morgan Robinson. She can get a good rest and then get back in there. And they really don't. They lose a step, obviously, because Robinson's such a terrific player. But McCann is a terrific player. So it's a blessing for Coach Shirley to have that kind of depth.
Yeah, she made a big three in that run. And remember, they trailed Bloomfield by 18 in the fourth quarter at Bloomfield and came back and won. She kind of get that all going a few weeks ago. A layup by Schmiel falls. So it was on the edge and it fell, and it's 31-18.
I'm so impressed with the freshman Schmiel. She has great body control, great sense in and around the basket. She can absorb contact and still finish.
Senior-laden team. She gets her minutes and gets her time, and there's the layup by Warren on the other end. Rams are so deep, JR.
Yeah, and, Warren has had moments for them this year and a really nice job going baseline to get that layup.
Here's Schmiel. Lane for three. And scramble for it, and Caitlin Carter, the sophomore from Philadelphia, fighting for that rebound, may have been aggressive in getting it, but got away with it.
Well, and when you go to zone sometimes, as we see Carter and McCann fight for that loose ball, when you go zone, sometimes teams get very stationary in their offense, and that's what's happening with Chestnut Hill.
Another jumper by Warren is good. She scored 4 straight. It's 35-18, a 17-point Rams lead.
And I like the defensive change by Coach Shirley, but I really like more them playing the 1-3-1. The Griffins just don't look comfortable on the offense today against this zone.
Morgan Orlowski in there, number 12. She missed a bunch of games. She missed 14 games during the season with someone who's going to be a player for them. She's been back now for the last 5. Number 12 in there, just trying to maybe get a different look here, and Schmiel will get to the free throw line.
And you saw there, some good dribble penetration and finding Emily Schmiel rolling down the middle of the lane. She gets fouled on the play.
7 points for Schmiel. She has such a good feel for the game. Freshman who just already, you can tell, just knows how to play this game the right way.
Very comfortable. Solid player.
38 block shots on the season, 3rd in the conference for the freshman from Doylestown. 16-point Rams lead as we go under 3 minutes in the first half. Here's Robinson. McCann. Down low to Murphy. Murphy loves to set up down there, and usually it turns into a bucket, but this time the Griffins were up to the challenge. Krim, right angle 3 won't go. Rebound is fought for, and it's McCann who comes out of there with it. 2 on 3, and she smartly pulls it out and goes to Robinson.
Great decision by Maeve McCann. Didn't have numbers, realized it, pull it out, run a set.
Robinson drives, tries to force it in, and she's fouled. Coming across is Orlowski, her first.
And Robinson, nice head and shoulders, getting to the basket. Tough call, little contact, but a good controlled drive by Morgan Robinson. Actually, the foul should have been, I think, on Emily Schmiel.
Robinson at the free throw line here, a good free throw shooter. Misses that one, though. Talked about Orlowski missing a lot of time. Leah Miller played the first 8 games. Was leading the conference in scoring and up there in rebounding as well, and has been out the rest of the year. And this team is doing all this without one of their 2 or 3, however you want to rate them, best players for sure. You could go maybe neck and neck with Seabold as to how good Leah Miller was. Amazing what Coach Connolly has done. Deserving Coach of the Year under any definition. And a travel is the call on Orlowski.
Maeve McCann did a good job of running after providing a little help inside on Schmiel. Schmiel kicks it out. She runs at that shooter and forces that travel.
Thomas Jefferson, the last time they won the CACC championship, they were the 3 seed in the South. They're the 3 seed in the South here. Won the game on the road that year. Winning the game on the road to get to here and playing their best basketball right now against the number 2 team in the entire region. Little floater, no good there inside by Hewlett. 85 seconds to play, first half. And the Rams continue to play smothering defense. Murphy down low, her favorite spot right there. Lefty layup won't go, though. Offensive rebound pulled away by Warren, and they reset here.
Allie Warren's given Coach Shirley great minutes off the bench tonight.
Murphy on Schmiel. It's the matchup we wanted to see. And Murphy wins.
In that instance, she brought the big girl out and then was able to up and under her to get that layup. Really nice move. 2 really good freshmen going at it.
Rams keep doubling up on the Griffins, and what that means is they're extending their lead, because when you're double, it's 20-10. That's a 10-point lead. When it's 38-19, that's a 19-point bulge.
You see right here, great up and under move by Cassie Murphy. Head and shoulders fake, allowing her to get to the rim. Terrific move by the freshman.
We have not seen Chestnut Hill be out of sorts like this the entire season. They had a little stretch in that Caldwell game on Tuesday where they let a 12 or 14-point lead get down to 1, but they rebounded quickly from that. This is another level team they're playing today. Warren, blocked by Bree Hewlett. 6 to shoot. 19.7 on the first half game clock.
Good defense by Bree Hewlett, staying right with Warren.
Murphy buries the jumper from the baseline from 14, and it's 40-19, JR.
Incredible first half by the Rams.
Siebold bangs into Robinson. It's only the second team foul of the quarter. Only 3 fouls. Jefferson, one thing they don't do. They went an entire half without fouling in a game earlier this year. Might have been against Chestnut Hill. It was one of their early games.
Now, Morgan Robinson trying to put some ball pressure on Siebold.
Doesn't hurt them. Siebold, 2 seconds, 1, and that's not a great foul by Warren.
Yeah, Siebold was kind of out of control. I don't know if she would have made the layup. A little bit of a bailout by Allie Warren. I think I would have liked if I was Coach Shirley there to out of that to go zone with 5 seconds left, to not allow any dribble drive.
0.6 seconds now on the clock, and that's the first point of the game for Cassie Siebold. Violation, but it didn't matter. The shot went in. So Cassie Siebold's 2 free throws there. I don't know if that's going to be any kind of momentum, but for the Rams, that's a big first half. I don't think that Coach Shirley could have drawn it up any better.
No, it was pretty perfect. They got good shots most of the half, and they played great team defense, and a 40-21 lead, big time stuff for the Jefferson Rams.
Andrew Byrne should be with Coach Shirley, and here comes Coach, and we have Andrew Byrne with Coach Shirley.
Thanks, guys. Coach, you have to be pleased with the effort you saw. This was a Chestnut Hill team that scored 24 and 25 points in the first 2 meetings in the first quarter. So what did you change defensively tonight?
Well, we're trying to change our defense. That's a big thing. Just kind of keep them on their toes, back and forth, change some defensive schemes, give them some different looks.
Cassie Siebold didn't score any points into those 2 free throws right before the buzzer. What have you done to contain her?
Well, I think what we're trying to do is spread the floor a little bit more and let our kids go one-on-one. So in doing so, we're not giving Cassie as many opportunities as we normally would. But she got a couple buckets at the end. She'll be fine.
Emily Kifas has already tied a season high with 14 points. She hasn't missed a shot. What have you seen?
Well, she leads the league in 3-point shooting, and I think that's what she does. She scores and she shoots, and she's on tonight, and she's playing terrific. So we're lucky to have her.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
You're welcome.